Welcome to a Fusion 360 tutorial on designing the roof of a GWR railcar. As we can see here, it involves some rather nifty curve work at the front end of the roof. Okay, so let's get started. We open up our Fusion 360 and we go into sketch mode and we choose the YX plane. And the first thing to draw is a rectangle that is 5 millimeters high by 15 millimeters long. Let's zoom in on that. And now we need to draw a curve which will be the main curve of the roof. Using the curve tool there, 3-point arc tool, we can go from there to there and create a nice little curve in there like so. We can then remove the lines that really don't matter to us anymore. Next we add a stencil for the ridge on the roof, 3.5, 0.5, and then we draw a line on the other one which is 1.5, and we do a similar 3-point arc between the two. Like so, and we finish that sketch. Now since we're going to loft and use the loft tool to create this main curve part of the roof, we need to put a plane in that we can draw the other side on. This will become a little bit clearer as we proceed. So the next thing is to construct an offset plane from that one there, and we want to go out, we can see down there, we want to go out 15 millimeters, and that will give us a plane there. We can now draw on that plane, create sketch, select that plane. We add a box in there now by 7 millimeters by let's say 2.5 millimeters high, and again we put a 3-point arc in there like so. As you can see, I like to draw in this way, take away the bits we don't want. Find it a bit easier to put arcs in this way within a box. Finish that sketch, and then we can create the loft between those two. So we use the loft tool. There is the loft tool, and we highlight that one and we highlight that one, and that gives us our basic shape for one half of the roof. Okay, now we need to bring this curve down here, so we're going to do this by using the loft tool again, and this time we're going to sketch it. We're going to sketch on this bottom plane there, and again I like using boxes, it makes life a little bit easier. So again we're going to do let's say 2 millimeters by 7 millimeters again, and enter. And then we're going to split that by drawing a straight line across the diagonal there, and then remove the bits we don't want there, and finish the sketch. And now we can go into the loft tool again, highlight that one, finish, and you can see now we have our basic roof shape. Now the next thing to do is to create that slope, because if you remember, this roof sloped back a bit. So what we're going to do now is we're going to now draw on this plane. So we're going to go select it on there, and we're going to go again up there now by 1.5 millimeters, 1.5 millimeters. And from there down to that corner and back to that corner to complete our shape. We can then come into here, we can then use our extrude tool to take that bit, and we're going to cut it, and we're going to move it right the way across and up the other side. And that then gives us our, let's switch off our sketches. We can see now we have our rather front, the main part of our front roof. Now let's do our little web. This is the bit that feeds down into the light at the front. So again, we click on that one and we want to extrude it, and we want to go that way. I want to go 0.25 because this half will be mirrored, and therefore it's going to end up as 0.5 millimeters at the end of the day, and we can go there like so. Now while we're at this, let's just do a fillet on this edge, and we want the fillet of 0.25 again there. Okay. Our next move is to put the rainwater edging strip on the front, and for that we go into sketch again, and we sketch on this front face this time, and we sketch over here, and we're going to put a small little box in here of, let's say, 0.5, 0.4 rather, by 0.2. Okay, and that gives us that, and finish the sketch, and then move down, and then we can highlight that and that one if need be, and we can go into sweep tool with the sweep tool, and we've already selected the two profiles, and now we select the path which is there, and we want to make sure it goes into bod join, which is like so. We can then come round to the front, and now next stage in this is to bring the roof ridge along the front. Now what we do with this one is, let's get rid of some of these sketches so we can see what we're doing. We highlight that bit that we want to bring across, and we go into the sweep tool, and the path we want to bring across to there. Now if we now go into join, we'll get an error coming up. This is because it doesn't like this bit over here. So we get rid of the error, and then if we zoom in and take that back to there, then we'll be okay. Now that's because we did this bit first. If we hadn't have done that bit first, then we could have come right across. But no matter, whichever way you want to do it, we're going to be covering it up with something else in due course anyway. Okay, so that's our front piece. Now what we want to do is create the length, so it's half the length of the coach, because in effect what we're going to do is create 4 quarters that we'll put together. So we've already got 15 millimeters of the coach, so if we assume the coach is going to be let's say, or what can we call it, 200 millimeters long, then we've got 15. We're going to have 15 the other end, the same as this, so that's 30 off 200 leaves us with 170. Therefore we need to add on here 85. I hope that all makes sense. So we extrude that, and we also make sure we add that bit as well, and we extrude that 100, and what did I say it was, 170 divided by 2 is 85 millimeters. So if you can see, that's our one half of the coat of the roof, and you can see there we've got the necessary shape there and everything that we want in that one, that like so. Okay, and we'll multiply this over the other side, and then we'll double it up to get to the back. The next thing, however, is to put some detailing on the roof. Okay, so the next stage is to detail this part of the roof. So we select the roof, and we want to come up here now in the center line and draw a construction line, let's say 15 millimeters or 7.5 millimeters up. This will be our spacing for our vents, if you like. And then the next thing is to zoom in and draw a vent. So what we're going to do is use the slot command, and we'll use the center point slot, so it's slot there, and switch back onto draw mode and do a slot that's let's say 1.5, so it ends up being 3 millimeters long. and we'll make it 1mm wide, and enter. And then we want to add on there now a circle, and we'll make that circle, let's say 1.5mm. Again, you can measure this out exactly if you want to, and finish the sketch. And sketches has disappeared because we've got the switch edges turned off. Let's turn the sketches back on again so we can see them. Now we want to extrude these up, so we're going to pick that one and that one, and we're going to extrude that up, say about 0.6mm, and then we're going to take the whole of the circle and extrude that up, say 1mm. And then we can see it taking shape there. So what we want to do now is we'll put some curves on here. So we use the fillet tool on that one, and that one, and that one, and we say 0.25 to give us a nice little curve on there. Okay, now we need to extend those along the roof. So what we're going to do now is we're going to use the create a pattern tool, and we're going to not bodies, but we're going to do faces. We're going to highlight those faces. If you come off in that way and draw on, then you can highlight them easy enough. And then we're going to do the axis, so we're going to go along the axis there, pick any of these axes as you want to, and we're going to do a spacing. Remember, we done 7.5. It will become obvious in a minute. We're going to do now 15 spacing. So this, we're going to change the extent, the spacing, and we're going to do a spacing of -15, and we're going to put a few more in like so. Now you can argue whether it's too many. It's really, you need to look at the model that you're doing and decide what you put. The object of this exercise is to show you the technique involved rather than get the actual detail. And we click the OK button, and we've got those in place now. So having got a complete half, we can now duplicate that half by using the mirror command, making sure we got bodies on, select the object and select the mirror plane, which will be this one over here, and that gives us the front half. Now we have one more thing before we duplicate the bottom half, and that is to put a light on it. So let's zoom in on the front piece again here, and we go and use the sketch command on this part here, and the first thing we will do is put our oval in like so, and then we will put in another one for 1mm in the middle there, which will be our lamp itself. Finish the sketch, and then we want to take these, highlight all these bits of the circle and extrude them back as far as they will go, and join it so we've got our nice light there. And then on the front, again picking up the inner circle and extrude that out 1mm, and then we can put the fillet command on there and make that 0.5mm, and there's our lamp on the front. Now we can duplicate that into the back half. Let's get rid of some of these sketches so we can see what we're doing on the origin. And there's the one half. We've extruded that a bit too far though, so let's go back and edit that extrude, which I think was that one there. So we can go click on that and edit feature, and basically bring it back. We want it showing, we want it to cover in the roof there, so just bring it back neatly to there. Okay, and now we can see we're not worried about that bit under there. That can be there, doesn't matter. and then we highlight the entire body and we do a mirror command again, and again bodies, objects, mirror plane there. Okay, and there is our finished roof. I trust you have found this short tutorial useful. Dimensions and style are not necessarily prototypical. The idea behind the tutorial was to show you some techniques of curve generation and lofting to create awkward curved shapes, and hopefully the video has served its purpose in that way. Thank you for watching.